What's up, everyone? Back again with the three-peat. We're excited to be in. Let's introduce my main man to my whatever it is from your screen. I guess it's opposite. Jones in the house. Welcome in, my brother.
What's going on? How we doing?
We're doing great. 2 weeks left. I mean, dang, where did time go, man? Like just about 2 weeks. It's almost over. NBA season, by the way, is unlike the NFL season. It's a monster, and seemed to fly by too. Now we're about to be in the playoffs. Crazy enough.
Yep.
Main thing is we got a lot of NBA action to talk about tonight. No Brian tonight. He will be in right before the playoffs. We're going to talk about some injuries. I know just in injury news, since we're just bringing up the subject, Joel Embiid will be back coming in that 76ers lineup this week. So we'll see how that plays out. And we'll talk to Brian a little bit more. Let's welcome in, though. Forget Rick Smits. We got, was it 2000? I had it here in front of me, and now I didn't have it because you was in late. Was it 2000? Where to go? 2014 was it? Or 2004 Dutch MVP. Travis Reed, welcome in.
Yeah. Sorry about it. It was a struggle on my computer. I'm like, man, I'm trying to log on, but anyway, appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure, good. John, you know this man is 6'8", bro. I was like, damn. Man, listen, all I know is if we ever on the court, you're my first pick. All right, let's
exactly.
All right, well, let's get things started. Like I said, no Brian, and Nat will be back next week. I want to make sure we extend that and extend our love to her. Can't wait to have you back in the house. All right, well, speaking of MVPs, let's talk about MVP of the week. MVPs of the week. Jones, I'm going to kick it to you first. Give me your MVPs of the week. Let's start with teams. We'll go with teams first. Give me an MVP team of the week.
MVP teams of the week, starting with the East. I'm going to go with the Knicks. I like how the Knicks have been playing lately, especially with the fact that we have a lot of injuries. We got some guys coming back, but right now we're still not fully healthy, and Brunson has been holding us down. Even though we've lost some close nail biters, he's been going crazy. He had a 60-point game the other night, and they've been, I think, 7-3 in their last 10. So I love the way that the Knicks have been playing, especially this is the way that we got to play going into the playoffs. We got to go in hot, not.
Absolutely, man. Jalen Brunson is hot. That is for sure. If, like I said, like you mentioned, get some pieces around them. Them next team might have a little bit of a shot to make some noise in the playoffs. That is for sure. But I hope we're not doing the whole homer thing because I already know Travis will tell me about them Lakers being his MVP of the week. But give me somebody else. Who you like, Travis?
All right, honest, I wasn't going to go. I was going to do that. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to give it to honestly Houston. Houston has won 11 games in a row. I mean, obviously they just lost to Dallas the other day, but look, I mean, this is coach's first year coming in, and I thought that frankly, I just thought that Jalen Green, I know it's early, but I thought he was a little bit of a bust as a player. But like now, the second half of the season, he's showing me something, and so is the rest of the young guys at Houston. They're going to be a problem next year. I think, they might, switch out a piece here and there, maybe draft somebody, something like that. They're one of them up-and-coming teams. I think this is the worst year they're going to have, and if they continue just to keep building, I think they're going to be able to have something special.
It's my fault. Is Sengun still playing, or is he out? He's out, right?
He's been out. They've been winning without him.
That's even more impressive. Like the fact that he's still out and he's one of their best players.
Yeah, so, Jalen Green he's been carrying them and efficiently. You're not like just at first when I just watched him, I was like, this dude is just a chucker. And just chuck. Now he's really, he's gotten a little bit better. Yeah. And that's coaching. I think he's coaching.
Speaking of chuckers, how about them Mavs? They're talking about an MVP team. Boy, they are coming on hot and strong
Yes.
down the stretch. And that's what we talked about that last week. It all matters if you're hot at the right time. That's in any sport, quite frankly. So
Yep.
getting hot at the right time is those Mavs. That's for damn sure. Travis, let's stick with MVP talk and let's go to players. Give me MVP player of the week.
Let's see. Got to give it to Joker. I mean, they made a statement. I think they struggled the last game without Murray, and he made a statement game versus Cleveland. With 28 points, 18 rebounds, 16 assists. I think he's really the only player in the NBA right now that can do something like that. He's going to win his third MVP in 4 years, probably. He's on a LeBron. People forget that LeBron did 4 and 5 when he should have won 5 and 5. They gave 1 year to Derrick Rose because they was hating on the fact that he left Cleveland and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what kind of run Joker's on. Joker's in the middle, smack in the middle of his prime, and Denver could go back to back. So yeah, I would give it to Joker, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, listen, for 6'8", that was a layup right there, bro. All right, let's go to Jones. Let's go to my man Jones. Who's your MVP of the week, my friend?
My MVP is going to Murray, but not the Murray on the Nuggets. Mine is going to the Murray and the Hawks, Devontae Murray. What he's been able to do the last few games, last few weeks, to enable to get the Hawks in a play-in position is just phenomenal. I think the last 2 games, who did they beat? That was a top team. I think was it the
Boston.
Boston. There you go. They beat Boston twice. And that's not easy to do, especially with Boston being the best team statistically in the league. And they did it twice and made them look like, hey, this team could be a problem. Not make a deep run, but you're going to have to pay attention to what they're doing. So averaging 28, 6, and 10 in that 4-game span, and they were 3-1. So shout out to them. They're trying to get in the playoffs.
Shout out to our man Brian. He unfortunately couldn't make it in, but throwing in the comments tonight says, "What's up?" Has coming back tonight. He said, "You know who isn't? OG." He said, "OG's elbows hurts."
Yes.
Sorry. Well, as I mentioned, Bry, go check out Bry's stuff on the injured list. We'll be having him back right before the playoffs. Going to talk a little bit more about injuries and players that may be coming back for that deeper run. Always good stuff from Bry. We appreciate you. All right, well, those are our MVP players and teams of the week. Let's get into this playoff picture.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
All right, we're gonna start where it's kind of easy. Let's talk about layups. Let's go with the easy layup. And let's go to East because really ain't much change. I'm gonna show you this was last week. Oh, I'm sorry, no. I got it confused. This was last week, and the only thing that really changed was just really we got some people moving up, solidifying. Right now, Miami really shouldn't be too comfy in that 7th spot. Sixers right behind them in a game. They are playing this week, which we'll maybe talk about that a little bit later. But that's, some big games coming up. The Hawks and Bulls feel like they're falling back a bit. However, and a great scheduling for them, Hawks and Bulls play tonight. Right now, Hawks are up by 7 right now in the 3rd quarter. So they may be solidifying, at least getting in that play-in tournament. All right, let's go to our boys. Jones, let's go to you first. What you think, my friend? Give me who you think's going to move up, move down. I don't know. Is anything going to happen in this playoff race right here? Because it don't look like nothing's happening.
Honestly, it's hard to say, but if I did have to move a team up, I would probably move the Knicks back to 3rd, and the Cavs down to 4. I think that's probably the most that's probably going to change. But it'll be interesting because I think that 6, 7, and 8 spot is going to be huge going through down these last 2 weeks. Because if you're any one of those teams, you don't want to be in that 7, 8, 9, 10 spot. You don't want to be in that playing spot. You want to be in that 6 spot where the Pacers are. So if you're the Pacers, these last 2 weeks are going to be important. If you're any other team below, these last 2 weeks are going to be important. But do I see much of a change? No, probably the Knicks trying to get to that third spot just for better seeding spot in the playoffs.
I was gonna bust your chops about that, but honestly, I think you hit it on the head. I mean, quite frankly, if there is some movement, that's definitely a team you could see moving. What about you, Travis? You see any movement in the East? I should just say solid East. What do you think?
Well, I think the Knicks could go down. I mean, Brunson can only do so much. He scored 61 points last game, or one of not the last game, game before last, and they lost. They just lost to OKC. They're missing Anunoby. They're missing Randall. They're missing Mitchell. They're missing a lot. And they're putting a lot on the point guard. I just think that like he has to score and create those. He has to do everything. So I can see them maybe moving down the spot to where Orlando is. Maybe possibly Orlando moving up. Cleveland's kind of like, they've been losing a little bit lately. Obviously, Mitchell just got back. But you saw what they did. You saw what happened against Denver. So I think, one of them can go down by default. I think, everything else, I think Philly can move up out of that 8 with Embiid back. I think, for them being in the AFC without Embiid for so long, that shows, how good they, how they just stayed afloat. They were 26-8 with him in the beginning of the season. So they can possibly, kind of move up, these next 8 games if they say get on a little bit of a roll, maybe 4, 5, 6 in a row, something like that. So I can see them moving up as well.
I think that first show I did bring up the Magic, maybe possibly, but it's because I heard it somewhere else, if I'm being honest. But no, making that move. But right now, speaking of the Magic, 104-103 to the Trailblazers. They're ahead 1 point with 12 seconds left. I can't see the tape, but it looks like we got a little bit of a buzzer beater going on there for the Magic. And I will say, we also brought this up too about the Magic when we were talking about the playoffs. It's a big difference, and I think the Golden State Warriors kind of showed them, like, they're sitting here struggling, they got all this going on, but they were able to beat the Magic because Steph Curry took over. They have that guy where I just feel like the Magic, who's that guy that's going to step up really when it matters? That's just kind of how I feel about it because of the young team. All right, let's hit to the West. A little bit of movement here at least. So we got this is the last week, so I'll make sure I'm saying this correctly. So we saw like the Mavs, they were down, they got hot, and look at that. Booyah. Number 5 right now. I put Golden State kind of tiny because it's almost like they're fading back. Phoenix looking strong. Lakers looking strong as well. Getting some momentum down the stretch also. And we got the big dogs up at the top as well. Kind of easy. Travis, we'll start with you, my friend. What other movement might we see next week on this playoff picture?
Well, pretty much, I think Phoenix could be the team moving down. They have the hardest schedule. If you look at their schedule, they beat Denver. They played OKC. They got, I think they got Denver again, the Clippers, New Orleans. They got a bunch of playoff teams ahead of them. So I can see them going down to the 9 and seeing the Lakers possibly moving up to the 8. I'm just saying, And then they got the beat Sacramento. Like I said, if I'm the Lakers, I just want to stay at the 8 because Denver's the 2nd, and was it OKC or Minnesota's the 1st?
OKC one, yeah.
Yeah, OKC is the 1st, so I want to be the 8 if I'm the Lakers. I don't want to be the 7.
It's
so,
literally go ahead, my bad.
No, as I say, so go ahead, Sacramento, beat us for 7. Play Denver in the first round. Go ahead.
Just so you know, they're only separated by Denver has one more loss, but they have the same amount of wins. So it's really getting close.
Lakers they're 9-10 games above 500, and they're still 2 games behind Phoenix in the 8. So yeah.
And speaking of Phoenix and the Pelicans, Phoenix is up right now 20 points over the Pelicans, 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. So Phoenix certainly trying to get hot. Jones, what you think, my friend? Will we see any movement here in the West? Let me pull that back up for you. Any movement from these teams at all?
I like what he said, the Phoenix possibly moving down because of their schedule. But for me, I'm going to go with the Sacramento Kings dropping down to the 8th spot and maybe either Phoenix or the Lakers jumping up to the 7. Now, that's a lot, but it's not that much of a lot. It's possible. And the reason why I say that is because they're going to miss out on Malik Monk is going to be out for a couple. I don't know how long they said, a couple weeks or a couple
40,
months.
46.
4 to 6 weeks. So that he's in the running for sixth man of the year. He's a huge part of their team coming off the bench. So I don't know how much that's going to affect them. I think it will affect them because how much he means. But they have a good team, so that's something that I could possibly see going. But more realistically, I agree with Jordan that it's most likely the Suns because they got a tough ass schedule and they have not been playing at their level that they should be.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's all about those teams are getting hot. Now, it'd be interesting to see the Suns. You talked about their schedule, and I talked about they're up 20 or the Pelicans. If they get hot on that schedule too, watch out in the playoffs because then they're just hitting on all cylinders at that point. But the West, I mean, it's pretty much up in the air. There's a lot of teams that could see a lot of movement where, versus the East, where it just kind of is what it is at this point. All right, well, let's talking about is what it is. Let's talk about what to watch this week. All right, let's go to Travis on this one first. Give me what you're looking out for, a great game this week that you're looking for, and give me a prediction for it too. Why at
it? Let's see. This week, it's not necessarily for NBA. It's the Final Four for college, both men's and women coming up Saturday. I want to see if this freight train called UConn men's can just keep rolling. I don't know if anybody watched their Elite Eight game. They went on a 30-0 run against Illinois.
Wow.
I was like, they can win back to back. They won last year already. They're in the Final Four again this year. So I'll be watching that this weekend, and I'm not sure who the Lakers play, but whoever they play, big game, they gotta win.
Travis, like anything the Lakers playing, it's a big game. That's what I'm watching. All right, what you think, Jones? Give me a game this week that you're looking out for and predict it.
I love it. Well, one, any team that's in the play-in position, those are going to be some exciting games because they're going to need it. So if you want to watch some exciting basketball, don't watch the top teams. They're not going to be playing for much. They're just playing for seeding. But those bottom teams, those 7, 7, 8, 9, and 10, those are going to be the teams that are trying to play the hardest. So watch out for those games. And I agree with Travis. NCAA, but I'm going to go to the women's side. I'm watching the LSU versus Iowa game. Iowa has just won the game, so they're going to advance to the next level. And then the next game is UConn versus USC, and great matchup. So I'm going to predict USC because of the freshman Juju Watkins going crazy. I think that's what we need to look out for. So shout out to those guys.
I mean, look, I mean, you kind of hit it on the head, but I got to kind of scold you both. We ain't talking Sixers Heat right now. I mean, come on, Jones, you kind of touched on it, so I can't get. But Travis, bro, you can't give me no love and bring up. I mean, this is it right here. You know what I'm saying? This is 7, 8 seed, like back to back, fighting for it. Let's go, man. Damn.
Well, we don't even really. I mean, unless you got NBA League Pass, we ain't got.
Well, I'm down here in Florida, so
that's what I say. We don't get that. We don't get that.
Good stuff. All right, well, let's get to it. I didn't even know until I researched about Travis today. I was like, this dude, I gotta set him up every time first in the paint. Well, you know it. I got to get to the big man down in the paint. We're going to go to Travis first. Show 60 seconds to rant on whatever you like, my friend. Your 60 seconds begins now.
Well, okay. I would say that there's two things I want to talk about. One is LSU. That I know they just lost just now, coming from Mr. Jones here. Stay on your grind, you know what I'm saying? Because Angel Reese, I love her to death. I think she's a great player, great for the game. I think she was, I think that whole team was kind of Hollywood this year, where Caden Clark, as much as you hate her, she was in gym. Now, it ain't nothing to do in Iowa but being in gym. But they see what I'm saying? Like, they was on their championship, they rapping, they doing all this other stuff and this and that. Okay, Angel Reese did her ESPN loop and NIL money. Stay on that grind. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it shows when the time comes, And I want to say one more thing about college basketball. I wish that two things happened that was big for college basketball. The NBA elite, there is no more. They took the money out. So you're going to see more kids going to college instead of doing an NBA elite team thing. So that should help college, because this year in college men's basketball, there was no stars. I didn't know now. Yep. I mean, Zach Edey, because he's 8 feet. But, other than that, like I said, I didn't know recognize anybody from college basketball men's. I knew all the women's stars, which is the first time ever for me.
I think that's been commented multiple times. I've heard that multiple times about how the women's is all of a sudden the new it's, if you will. So good stuff. And I couldn't hit you went over 60, but I couldn't even go. All this good stuff about college.
My bad.
I couldn't even hit the buzzer on you, bro.
My bad.
It was such a good feel, bro. I'm with you, man. All right, Jones, 60 seconds, sir, begins now.
I'm just going to continue on what he's saying as far as with the college women's basketball. I think it's great for the game. I picked LSU to win this game, but honestly, I wasn't sure. It was a nail biter to the last second. I love what the women's are doing for their sport. Not only is it good for the college basketball, but it's great for the WNBA next year, because those ladies are going to be going to the WNBA, most of them at least. And that just brings more attention. These women have been asking for this attention for years. Now they have the opportunity. They got to grab it and hold it tight and run with it, because if they don't get it now, who knows if they're going to get it back.
We talked prior to the show, and I was mentioning how the women's game could really use a LeBron type woman, someone that gravitates, that everyone's gravitating to, whether you love her or hate her. It's someone that, that we can really hone in on, and like, hey, look at Tiger Woods, like, who watches golf? Right. I mean, I my dad used to. I can't sit and watch golf. I love to play it, but I sure to hell would tune in if Tiger Woods, like down the stretch, got to tune that in. So, but like you just mentioned, looks like we might have those, maybe a LeBron type, or more like a Seth Curry type, coming up in the WNBA. So that'll be at least interesting to watch. All right, fellas. Well, we got a great big week, and my neighbor's dog don't stop barking. We got a great new great show next week for you. We're gonna get even closer. We'll be 1 week away, and our girl Nat will be back in a starting lineup as well. So we'll get all the breakdown from the NBA, and like to hear Nat's thoughts and all that good stuff. And we'll bring Brian back next week as well if anything pops up injury wise. Other than that, make sure you tune in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Hit a comment. Little things stopping you from doing it. Big things popping for us when you do. For us to you, we appreciate you, and we are out. Good shit, fella. You know what was good? I don't know if you guys see it, but from my view, it shows you like people watching and oh my God, I didn't even end the stream.